This is pre-algebra for Wednesday, April 15th. And as we get started today, I want to make a note to you girls in my pre-algebra class. So I've just finished grading and looking through your math from last week, and no one is showing me their work, okay? So you get 10 points off, okay? So the highest you can make is a 90 on your work if you're not showing me your work. Because what's happening is I don't know that you're doing it. I'm not getting questions from you very often. You're not asking for help, and then I just get a page with just answers on it. So I am admonishing you and getting on to you and telling you that if you don't start showing me your work, your grades are going to get lower and lower and lower until eventually I will not pass you on a paper unless you're showing your work. It's the only way that I know that you're working through the process. Those shapes and those areas had a lot of work to them, and I saw none of it, okay? So make sure that you're showing me your work with the number. Even if it takes you a whole page to get one answer, I want to see it all together with your answer circled, please. Okay, so make sure that you're doing that on your work this week. Okay, let's get started. 14.2 today, and we are going to be adding polynomials. That's a fancy word, remember, for many terms or multiple terms. So let's talk about adding these polynomials. Let's start with example 1, which is 3x plus 4, and it's in parentheses, plus 2x minus 6. So the first thing we have to deal with are our parentheses. Okay, so can I add 3x and 4? No, because they're not like terms, and you've learned that. Here, can I add 2x minus 6? No. So I'm kind of at a standstill. So the way that I want to view this problem is I want to view it as I put a 1 outside, and I have a positive 1 times 2x minus 6, okay? So what I can do is I can put a 1, a positive 1, outside of my parentheses since there's nothing I can do, and I can distribute. Do you remember distribution? So I can get these outside. So what happens? Well, I just get 3x plus 4 plus 2x minus 6. Now, if you'll notice, if there's a positive in front of the parentheses, we can actually just drop those parentheses. That's really, in essence, what we did. Now we have a problem that we can combine the like terms. Okay, so we can combine 3x and 2x. 3 plus 2 equals 5x. Remember, when we're adding, we just keep the x. And then we can combine our numbers, and we get negative 2. So, can I combine these? No. So my answer is 5x minus 2. This is what your work should look like, okay? All right, example 2. Let me go ahead and erase. Example 2. Negative 5y plus 9z plus negative y minus 5z. Okay, so again, I have a positive outside both of my parentheses. I can't join anything inside the parentheses, so I'm going to drop those. Now, plus minus y, what should I do there? A positive times a negative equals a negative. So I can just do minus y minus 5z. Okay, I'm going to put a 1 in front of my y. I'm going to combine my like terms. Okay, and I can't do anything else, so I leave my answer there. Okay, example 3. Oops, let me change the markers here. I don't like that one. Okay, so can we combine anything inside of our parentheses? Hope you said no. There's none that are like terms. I have a positive here and a positive here, so I can drop those parentheses. 3x squared minus 10x plus 9. Positive and a negative, so minus 8x squared plus 17x minus 2. Okay, now that I've gotten rid of my parentheses, I can combine my like terms. So I have a 3x squared and a negative 8x squared. So 8 minus 3 is 5. It keeps the sign of the bigger number. Okay. Now I'm going to do my negative 10x and my positive 17. So I'm going to have plus 7x. And then my numbers, which will give me plus 7. I can't combine this any further, so that is my answer. Okay. Example 4. Make sure that you're also working these on paper. If you do them, you can see if you get the same answer, and if you don't, what you're doing right or wrong. 3a cubed minus 8a minus 9 plus 5a cubed plus 10a squared plus 8. Okay, I'm adding again, so I'm going to drop these. Okay, and I'm going to combine my terms. Let's see, do green. Okay, so that gives me 8a cubed plus 2a, oh, well, nope, I almost combined the wrong ones. That's just a. This is an a squared, so it doesn't have anything else, plus 10a squared. Let me make sure I wrote that down right. I did. Then I have my a, which is minus 8a. Then I have these two numbers left, so minus 1. Make sure in your answer, it should always go with the highest exponent letter. Do you see how I went from a cubed, a squared, a, and then just a number? This is the proper order. It's wrong if it's out of order. Okay? All right. Let's move on to example 5. Two 0.5x squared plus 8.2xy minus 4y squared plus 3x squared minus 0.4xy minus 1.5y squared. Okay? I'm going to get rid of these parentheses since they're both positive. Okay, and now I'm going to begin to combine these. So what do I start with? Do I start with x or y? Well, let's think about what comes first alphabetically. X comes before y in the alphabet, so we're going to start with x, and we're going to start with the highest exponent. So I see 2.5x squared. So I'm going to find any other x squareds. So I get 5.5x squared. Okay, now I want to see if there's any other x's. And I see that there's an xy, so it will come next. Okay, so I have a positive and a negative. I'm taking away 0.4, so 8.2 minus 0.4 would be 7.8. So positive 7.8xy, combine those terms. Now I have a y squared. Okay, so I have negative 4 and negative 1.5, so I'll add those to be negative 5.5y squared. And this is my answer. Okay. Example 6. One fifth x plus 3/10 plus 1/10 x minus 3/5. Now, this is the exact same thing we've been doing, except for we're going to take away, we're going to be using fractions. So let's go ahead and take away those parentheses. Okay. And now I have a 1/5 x and a 1/10 x that I need to combine. Well, remember when I'm adding fractions, I need to have the same denominator. So in essence, I'm adding 1/5 plus 1/10. Okay? I need to change this one. 5 times 2 is 10. So 1 times 2 is 2. So I get 2/10. So now I'm adding 2/10 plus 1/10 equals 3/10. Okay? So let's come back up here, and I have 3/10 x. Okay? Now I need to combine my fractions that don't have a variable. So I'm going to combine 3/10 minus 3/5. Okay? So how do I do this? Well, I need to say that I need to change this to a tenth. So 5 times 2 is 10. So 3 times 2 is 6. So I'm going to change it to 6/10. Okay? In this case, this is the bigger number. So 6 minus 3 is 3. It keeps the sign. So negative 3/10. So it'll be minus 3/10. Okay? Okay. Very good. All right. And we are to your exercises for today. It's simple math. Make sure you're combining only like terms. You're really thinking through it. Let's do 1 through 30 odds.